for the home team. This one's for the home team.
Hey, welcome to Tailgate Beers. Ryan and Austin here as usual. Tonight we are here at Cruisin's, West Peoria, Farmington Road, and we have a special guest today. Cooper Allen's joining us. Cooper, thanks for joining us.
It's an honor.
But I didn't do it. I plead the fifth. I did some shit when I was drunk last night. I raised some hell. I posted bail, but I won't testify. It all went south and I ain't proud, but a good time ain't no crime. I plead the fifth of Jack again when I go out tonight. It all went south and I ain't proud, but a good time ain't no crime. I'll plead the fifth of Jack again when I go out tonight.
So you've been to Peoria before, I know that, right?
Plenty of times.
And-
The first time we were in Peoria, it was unfortunately not here. We played at a Kenny's West Side Pub.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
And that was on the very first tour we ever did. And then I think we kind of graduated to Cruisin's like that next year. And I think we've been to Peoria or like Bloomington probably 8 times now, it feels like.
When
Good
was the
people.
first time you were in town? When was
It
Kenny's?
was that 2021 for anybody in here that might remember?
2022.
22
Two.
at Kenny's?
At Kenny's. No, Kenny's was 2021.
Yeah, that was 2021.
Fresh out of COVID,
That
just
was our
coming in hot.
fourth
to Kenny's.
show ever.
Wow. I did not know the Kenny's thing. I just knew when Wayne said that you were coming to play Cruisin's, and at that point, I didn't know much about you other than you were doing your mashups as everybody, did. Then you came here, and I don't know what was sold that night, but that was a packed okay, so yeah, sold out because it was packed. And then again, I'm still had to sell me on it. You did the whole crowd, somebody throw out a couple different
Oh, yeah.
songs and stuff, and then you did it. I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. I am sold.
It was a totally useless talent till TikTok, and now I guess it does something.
No, and then just your performance, stage presence, everything. Your voice is really fucking good. So no,
Thanks, guys.
it's something where as a TikTok person, it's like, okay, these mashups are cool, but I mean, how's the performance going to be? How's that going to go? And yeah, you blew me out of the water. And then you played Tailgate the following 2023.
Yeah, y'all have been a big part of helping us develop and grow, putting us on stages, bigger stages than we probably should have been on at the time, and helping us kind of grow into it. So thank you.
So I want to kind of start in the middle a little bit, and I do want to talk about the band that you formed in, I think it was 8th grade, Below the Line,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Thanks
but
for doing your homework.
Absolutely. So I want to jump into the middle and talk a little bit about COVID time frame. We're talking about 2020 and the 615 House was a big content creator for you, and how you somewhat not necessarily started, but how you got into the TikTok scene, which obviously has been huge in your career. Tell us about that experience and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. COVID, before COVID, we were playing at Broadway bars. Me and the guys that we all still play together now, we were playing at, Wild Horse and Old Red and doing cover sets. And then COVID came along. We started doing the TikTok thing. And my wife was like, you got to get on TikTok. And a couple people told me that. And so we got on it, luckily had some success. And then when it was kind of time to not like be inside all the time, some other people, like Chris Rudiger was a guy I'd known before COVID. And he was like, I'm doing this TikTok thing too. Let's get, you, a couple other people that have, had success on the app. Let's get together in a house and just start like doing stuff, making videos. It was really fun. That the house was awesome. It had like a pool and was like a mansion or whatever, which was kind of fun to be at. And that's kind of how I met a lot of like my closest, artist music friends. I kind of met through that, like Thomas Mack, Alexandra Kay. We hit it off, and that's the first tour we went when we went to Kenny's and all those places. That was with them. We all did it together. So it was really, it was a way for us all to grow and make videos and kind of capture the eye of industry people, I guess. But it was more like, meeting friends.
Yeah.
What is the six? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you don't?
No, I didn't.
explain
I
it
did not
better
do
than
my
I can.
research.
You can explain better. I can't.
It I don't know why this was a thing, but like early TikTok, they had like the Hype House and the Sway House, and I don't really even know what that is, but it was just like these influencers would live together,
Kinda like
and
We've heard from Taylor and,
Yeah.
and Montana Boys and,
Okay, so
and all that kind of stuff.
You lived in this house with everybody.
I did not
Okay.
necessarily live there.
Okay.
I lived like 2 miles away from there,
But you guys, it's like a big hangout pad
Yeah.
essentially, and you guys would just do content creation.
yeah, we would go like, once or twice a week, go over there and just make videos and sing and kind of do anything any of us could think of. And you look at the original like group that met there, it's pretty crazy seeing like Priscilla Block, crazy success, Ashley Cook, crazy success, Tiger Lily, Thomas AK, Bonner, Sammy, Chris, just like
Priscilla.
it was pretty cool group.
Yeah.
Surfside's got real vodka, real iced tea, and real lemonade. You know what's not real? That excuse you gave to skip the tailgate. Grab a Surfside and redeem yourself, champ. Now back to your regular programming.
Yeah, so you guys would get together in the house, or they would get together in the house and just kind of create stuff together. I've seen her. There's maybe a little bit of songwriting going on behind the scenes too, but it's kind of a house that was basically, I don't know if it was necessarily given, but it was used or could be used for you guys to just kind of hang out and do all this content creation. But it's continued after you guys got kind of a class there together.
Yeah.
But it's continued after that. I know Clayton Shea, who is Tailgate Beers alum.
Clay.
He went
Good
later
man.
on as well. I've seen some mashups from him from that kind of stuff too. So Chris does a lot of podcasting as well. Austin Snell's been on with Chris and all of that. So yeah,
Chris
no,
is
it's
the man.
kinda-
Smart dude, very
Yeah.
smart dude.
So from there, kind of going forward, so you kind of have all of that behind you. You start to get that bigger following on TikTok, and then what kind of happens or where you go.
It was it was kind of just fun for a little bit of just like doing silly viral videos, trying to get as many followers as you could. I didn't really understand what was going on. It sort of got real, I guess, when we had like a song called New Normal was my first song to ever quote go viral on social media, and finally saw like real people organically streaming my music, which was really cool. I never had that. And so just kind of kept on releasing music and trying to get people's eyes on it and growing that. And then once we could go back on or could go on tour, we just kind of rolled the dice, me, Thomas, and AK together, and we're like, let's see how many people show up if we actually go and do this. And I think we're playing 250 to 500 cap rooms, but we're selling out about every show, and people were buying tickets to come sing our songs and get T-shirts and all that stuff, and it's just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I know most recently you wrote a song about your wife.
Oh yeah,
And so kind of surprised her at the reception with singing that to her. How did she take that?
I think she liked it.
I hope so.
It would have been awkward if she. No, that was that's the most nervous I've ever been to sing a song.
I bet.
Was that song, but that always will be, and was at the time just it's my favorite song I've ever written.
Certainly
Just
a
super special moment.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say too.
So we got the Tar Heels Duke game starting as he's a
You're about to
massive
see-
I've
UNC fan.
I see a real life psycho come to life. I changed.
It's
when I watched
0-0
these
right
guys.
now, so we caught it just in time.
How many games have you gone to, or is this something that you did a lot as a kid? Is it something like what made you that Tar Heels fan?
So my dad went there, and then my oldest brother was a manager for the basketball team for 5 years. My middle brother walked on for 2 years. He played. I went to Chapel Hill, graduated in 18. So I bet I've been to like 200 Carolina basketball
God.
games
Oh, wow.
or something. And it is where we're from. It's a freaking religion almost, Tobacco Road basketball, and I hate Duke more than anything in the world.
I've heard a story that your brother that walked on there, he would get you some like secondhand Jordan shoes that you would wear in high school playing basketball too.
Dude, I was the freshest looking kid out there. If you're gonna get dunked on, you might as well get dunked on with
Looking good.
fresh Jordans.
that Tobacco Road is like a bucket list of mine, of being able to go down that way and hit all those schools, being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to see it, and
Dude,
the
a Carolina
rivalries.
Duke game, everybody should see it in person once in their life. And you can't, I mean, at Duke is impossible, but everybody should go to Chapel Hill for one of those games. It's insane.
Yeah, because at Duke they like camp out for like a long period of time. Do they do that in North Carolina?
No,
for-
because
before
we
games?
we have lives and
We have lives.
we talk to people.
So you absolutely just hate Duke.
Hate them so much.
Okay.
It's I can't even explain it.
Have you-
Imagine what you hate most in the world
that bad,
and
huh?
multiply it by 2 to 3.
So did you know people that went to all the other schools, being from down there, that you're just like, man, if you're going to choose to go to the school, our friendship ends?
Well, I didn't really know anybody that went to Duke. Again, because I won't get into that. That'll be mean. But I didn't know a lot of people that went to NC State. And
Right.
also, my wife went to NC State. Like,
So
state
that's okay.
kids, like, I hate NC State, but the kids that go there are awesome. And, like, some of my best friends, went to NC State. Wake, not quite as much, but being from Winston, like, I'll cheer for them a little bit. But Duke, it's just all, like, kids from New Jersey that, fly down there. And they're all smarter than I am. So I think it's like a little man syndrome.
Except for Mike Stud.
Yeah. Did Mike Stud go to Duke?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he pitched at Duke.
Oh my God. Well, then he's definitely smarter than I
Him
am.
and Marcus Stroman, I think, went there together.
Really?
Yeah.
And was Posner around there at that time, or was that
Very well could be.
because he went there?
I don't know if Mike was smart or not, but I know he threw out his arm at Duke.
Dang.
That's how him and Stroman were buddies, and that's when he started
Huh.
his music career.
Well, shit.
But he was from up north in the
Yeah.
the East Coast area.
Yeah.
Came down to Duke.
It's a tale as old as time, man.
What is something like with the festivals when you started doing Tailgate and Tall Boys? What was a goal of yours when, here you are like, hey, we're getting ready to do Tailgate. I don't know what this festival is. What was your goal that year as far as gaining fans and being on that big stage?
Dude, first festival season, because I think the first festival season we played Tailgate, and it was in June. So I think we did like the Myrtle Beach Carolina Country Music Fest, one other thing, and then I think the next weekend was Tailgate and Tall Boys. And it was going from like, playing some really fun club shows, but to like the big festival thing. And it was the Morgan Wallen Day and Hardy. So like the place was packed early because everybody wanted to be there for
So
Morgan.
that was side stage year.
Yeah, and so we did the side
In
stage.
2022.
And it was, maybe some people were there to see us, but most people were there to see Morgan. And it was packed. And I was like, and there's got to be like, and we're on a side stage. There's got to be, 10,000 people just like right here. And that was awesome.
And then 2023, you do main stage Clinton. I think you played Clinton, and then you did Bloomington main stage the following year.
Don't sleep on Clinton, man. That's a good place. Good people.
That's my favorite tailgate
Yeah.
Tall Boys.
Yeah, I heard
I
so
love
many
Clinton.
people talk about AK
Yeah.
and you that 2023 year. It was like AK and you. Got to have him back. Larissa from Wild Rose has always talked about how great you were. Are we getting Cooper Allen back? Or,
That's awesome.
those are two big names that I heard a lot of. And
Yeah.
Jake Owen, a lot of people talked about his performance as well. But
The mayor of Clinton.
Oh yeah,
He's still the mayor of Clinton, right?
yeah.
yeah,
Great
for now.
dude.
He's
Love that guy.
he's a
I'll
tailgate-
campaign for that guy.
He's a tailgate beers alum as well. He
Yeah,
actually
he was
sat
on
down
here.
there too. Yeah, we had good conversation with him a month or two ago.
He's a great dude.
He comes over every once in a while and watches an artist and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
surprised he's not coming over today.
I know. We always call it the ongoing joke was that it was the mayor's party is what it was called. But no, he advocating for his town, trying to get something different to happen in that town to bring people there to change the narrative of that. So I give him big props and that's not even like his full-time job. I mean, he has a full-time job and then is like, oh, by the way, I'm the mayor of Clinton too.
That is so badass.
So let's go back to the beginning. As I
Yeah.
mentioned, like I said, I think it was 8th grade. You and some buddies there in town or went to school together, started a band, Below the Line,
Of course.
and you guys played just wherever you could for school events. What was it at the 8th grade level that you guys were able to get into to play?
First gig was a haunted trail at our school, and I mean there were maybe 12 people that were like chilling there watching us, but it was to that moment the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Absolutely.
I was like, this is awesome. We like encored with Purple Rain, and I'm not a very good guitar player. I was the lead guitar player for our band. So I was there trying to just botch a Prince guitar solo, and it was just such a shit show, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I was up there with my buddies, and parents and friends were having fun, and you just kind of, I don't know. I think performing music is like the best and most addictive drug of anything. It's just such a high. It's so fun, and so just would do anything to be anywhere playing music from then. And there were some bars that would let us play, and like my brothers and their friends would show up, and school events, really anywhere. And then college, started playing fraternity, sorority parties, college bars. That was a whole nother beast.
Were you
So-
that guy that would show up to the party with a guitar to start playing? Have you ever seen that like video or meme where there's always that one guy that shows up with his guitar,
Rolls
and
up the jeans and plays Wonderwall.
At the campfire.
No, I did that once in middle school, and I sat there and was playing, and I just
Don't
was like,
be-
I'm cringing at myself. And that's a lot for me to cringe at myself. So.
So you have the same band all the way through high school. Like you said, you went to college, and you're still kind of playing within most of the same group, I think.
Yeah, we added some in college, and then once I moved to Nashville, luckily met the guys I'm playing with now. And Scotty over here was the first guy I met. He's a guitar player. He called Darius and Tom and got them to join, and we've been, since about 2019 playing together.
Wow.
Scotty was talking to us earlier. He was like, if you want some real guests on the show, he's like, I'm on.
The Scotty tell-alls.
The Scotty tell-alls.
So, talk about some of your cringe moments from TikTok. What are some of the cringiest videos that you would look back on now and be like, I can't believe that somebody allowed me to hit post on that?
Bro, I mean, pick.
Jokes on you. Jokes on you. He has none.
Just spin the wheel and pick them. There was, I mean, I probably posted a cringy thing 2 weeks ago, but the worst, I think, my wife and I are like in a bathroom, and like she's wearing obviously her clothes, I'm wearing my clothes, and like the sound is playing, and like the light switch flickers and it comes back on, and I'm wearing her clothes, and she's wearing my clothes, and that was the first time I watched it back, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Was that like a trending thing at the time? I
Probably.
yeah.
I was like, that skirt looks comfortable, and it was. I mean, those things are awesome.
Drafty.
The kilt thing, I understand what those guys are doing.
Maybe we can pull the guys here a little later and get the cringiest one and plop it on.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I can send you about 100.
Look, I just flipped the switch. I don't know nobody else.
So I don't know if you went to the segment I asked today on the.
I did. I just didn't respond.
So
to
I
it, but-
watched the Bert Kreischer, Hardy, Co Wetzel, Stephen Wilson Jr.
Stephen Wilson, yeah.
where Bert's like cooking for him in the kitchen,
Yeah.
kind of, and they're doing all that. I don't know if you've seen it or seen any clips from it,
I think I saw something.
but Bert, I don't know, it's just comical in of itself. But it was funny because he asked a question, and I have one that we ask later, but it was an interesting question. So if you could get on a stage somewhere and essentially pick somebody, who would you essentially want to just show up on stage and be able to play like every single song of theirs? Like if you could all of a sudden somehow in the Matrix just end up with all the notes, everything in your head, but like go to that moment and either play that sold out show of Morgan Wallen's to Willie Nelson to anybody. Who
Yeah.
would you ever want to like change that spot with?
I got two. I think either Kid Rock, Woodstock '99.
Oh man.
Wow.
I've watched that concert like a million times. Like
Googling Woodstock 99 is the best thing ever to see any of those.
Oh, it's
the
incredible.
Limp Bizkit one when he like
Yeah, I was gonna say
they
Yeah.
blamed it on Korn, like blamed it on him.
Yeah.
there's like a Netflix special on that. Just about that whole thing and
Yeah.
starting the fires and burning the whole place down, basically.
Yeah,
And
and it got kind of sad, but the Kid Rock set.
He still had his whole crew with him. He had I
Joe
mean
C.
that was
Joe
that,
C.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
he was everywhere all over like MTV back in those days, and just Kid Rock.
Dude, Devil Without a Cause was like
Mm.
that album is so good, man. And it was like nobody else did the like rock rap thing. I guess like Rage Against the Machine, but I don't know. I've always been a big
Kid Rock is
fan.
his own genre.
Yeah, nobody else can rock a pimp jacket like
No.
Bobby.
So what's
Who's the
what would
second
be the what's the second or you said two people?
Probably some Eminem like
Okay,
prime Shady.
man.
Because if you could pull off a whole Shady set, that's pretty wild.
So going there, talking about some of the mashups that you've done, stuff like that, and I've heard you do some of the Eminem and you know what was the idea? I mean, were you kind of one of the first ones that started doing that just on a whim?
Yeah, probably.
Did you
definitely
invent
not the
mashups?
first.
Did you invent mashups?
Hell no.
Let's claim it here right now.
But
We
but
were
to go out
doing-
on a stage and tell a crowd, hey, name a few songs and go out and then be able to do it. I mean,
That's borderline on the spectrum.
right.
Well, I think about that every day. People tell me that every day. It's weird.
I
we-
thought for sure you placed those people. Like when somebody does that stuff, I'm always like, that's not real.
Yeah.
He told those people like before they're each VIP, and he told them. But I believed it
George
after I
Strait.
saw it.
But we were doing in bars, like college bars, when we were playing those 4-hour sets. And everybody's been doing stuff like this for, all time. You have 4 hours of songs. Like that's a shit ton of songs.
Yeah.
So we would just like sit there and start with like All Star by Smash Mouth and just keep on playing that chord progression. And me and my bass player, guitar player at the time would just like riff and how much we could do before, a crowd of drunk people at a bar noticed. And you go 45 minutes playing the same chords and singing these songs. And it was like, it became a game almost. And then, just throwing stuff at the wall on the internet. It's like, let's just try,
Mhm.
let's do this thing. And for some reason it worked.
So you've had to have seen some of the TikToks or videos of a bunch of these guys sitting in the kitchen, like all around a counter, like a U-shaped kitchen counter, and they're just going next back and forth
I've
all the
seen,
way.
the only reason I've seen it is because of him. When we,
Right. But some of that, maybe not all of it, but some of that was the 615 house we talked about earlier, and
Yeah.
where some of that was happening was just being able to just kind of go, and you're seeing a verse or a line, and the next person jumps right in without missing a beat, and then it just kind of goes around in a circle. I mean, it's
that goes into the rap stuff too, where Eminem has. I mean, you remember when they talked about how Eminem just would read the dictionary, and how how fast his brain works. To be, I put that on that level of where you've got something in your head that you can kind of spit up words as quick as possible.
Yeah, I
and a
can't
memory.
imagine doing what that guy can do, or like a Lil Wayne
Lil
freestyle every
Lil
one of his
Dicky's
songs or
another
something.
one that, like, when he's gone on like certain talk shows, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna get a beat," and then they give him like 3 or 4 topics, and then he just goes. I'm like, I don't even know how you do that, but
Lil Dicky's
I'm not
the
lyrically inclined.
man. Guy's
his
awesome.
his rap song with Snoop Dogg, that I don't remember what it's called, but that one's a good one. But I've been listening to. I'm a Pandora listener, and so I recently was doing Limp Bizkit radio.
Oh hell
and,
yeah!
Eminem's 8 Mile track. Some of the songs from that keep popping up on there.
Yeah.
But that's another great one where you can put in Limp Bizkit, and from that Pandora pick, you're getting Korn, you're getting Eminem. I mean, you're getting all these different random genres from that. Linkin Park is popping in there for some reason, and
Yeah.
the Eminem one, just like, man, those old albums of Eminem's are so good.
Ridiculous. I mean, nobody had a cadence like that, and nobody ever will. It was just like everything was so unexpected and like just cool, but also catchy as shit. Like, that's really hard to do.
Run. What is it called? Run. Oh gosh, what is it called? I hadn't thought about this song in God knows how long. No, not Stimulate.
10-9.
Who's winning?
10-9.
Duke's up by
What are they
one.
reviewing?
Flag's out there. Cooper Flag's out though, isn't he? Isn't he hurt?
He is out.
Dude, that
they're still really
ankle,
good.
that ankle roll. I hate seeing those.
Luckily, he wasn't limping today. I think he'll be fine next week because he's kind of hard to hate, honestly. And of all
Oh, you
the
said
Duke
you
players
hate,
I've
no,
hated.
that's not what you said earlier. So now you're flipping. Now you said.
But he's not annoying. Like he's not JJ Redick or like Greg Paulus. He's just like, he's a pro.
Run Rabbit Run or
Oh,
Run
yeah.
Rabbit or I think that's what it was. I hadn't thought about that song in I don't know how Rabbit Run
Yeah.
on 8 Miles track, and then I don't know, it's just been playing. I'm like, gosh, I love that. Eminem in that time was incredible.
Nobody better.
So
Well,
I'm hearing a truck pull up
I
out
know.
front, and I
And
bet
I'm-
you that's Wayne.
And I'm not getting yelled at
getting ready
like we
for
have
dinner.
before, where Wayne's like, "We're gonna miss dinner, God damn it!"
So
You
I
gotta
know,
get Wayne on the mic. Come
Yeah,
tell us
yeah.
himself.
Yeah,
I
we're not
know,
getting
uh,
off until he walks in.
I know Austin's got a question. For
Yeah,
you.
so our burning one that comes up all the time is, and it's a little controversial now, but you get to that point where you and your wife finally go out and buy that private jet that you've been wanting for so long, and you load it all up. You start heading wherever you're going to head to some getaway, and you just happen to bring every album known to man. I'm not sure how many parachutes are on there, but you secure one, and you got to grab 5 albums for the rest of your life. Like you
5
got to take
albums.
them with you. You're never going to listen to anything else. That's what you're taking with you.
Okay. I do Devil Without a Cause. I'd probably throw like an Eagles greatest hits on there. Are greatest hits allowed?
They are allowed.
Oh, yeah.
If
Okay.
they made a CD of it or an album of it,
Yeah.
it counts.
Eagles greatest hits. Man. I'm trying to think which Nickelback record I would take. Could honestly just probably pick 5 Nickelback
Well, I'm sure they
records.
have a greatest hits album too.
Yeah, Nickelback greatest hits whenever that's a thing. Let's see. This is a really, really good question.
I pride myself on it.
Mhm.
And so far to this date, Jesse, I think, might be the only fucking person that hasn't answered all 5.
Yeah.
A Cracked Rear View, Hootie,
Mm.
that first record. And
I mean, everything else is going in the water, so never gonna hear it
everything else ever.
again. Ever. You'll never get it
Shit.
again.
All right, there's got to be a lot. Probably Last Waltz. Band.
Okay.
That's an
I like it.
interesting
Yeah. A couple of them in there that
Several
we haven't heard
first.
before. Yeah.
several
Yeah.
first.
Oh, dude, Last
I mean,
Waltz.
you didn't.
that
You
is-
didn't take a single Eminem record. You didn't take You didn't take Smash Mouth. Who you mentioned. You didn't take.
You could have
any of
taken,
these
what is it,
others.
Astro?
I don't know that album.
What was that
is
album
so
called?
good.
So good, dude.
You got, like,
Pacific
the
Coast
space
Party.
shuttle and everything going on it. That's the greatest. That's the best part. Because how old are you?
29.
Okay, so around that time where MTV is, you're able to see Britney Spears as, you know, a young boy going, oh my gosh, to I'm watching Korn, and the next person is, you know, Snoop Dogg is on, you know, the top 10,
Yeah.
to you name it. And it's just such a variety. And then all of a sudden when Smash Mouth came on, and you're like, I don't even know what genre this falls into.
Dude, the greatest, other than my wedding and Carolina beating Duke in the Final Four, the third greatest night of my life was like his senior year of high school. Me and like 8 other dudes just got hammered at the Smash Mouth Sugar Ray concert. And there were, I mean, maybe 1,000 people there at this big amphitheater, which who knows why. Love those bands. And so they called everybody up. We were on the lawn. And so we were like 5th row at Sugar Ray and Smash Mouth. And it was still the original singer of Smash Mouth and
so
Mark
good.
McGrath and all that stuff. That was highly recommend.
You threw me off with seeing Britney Spears as a little boy. I got cut
Dude,
up.
if,
No,
you
as,
didn't have
as-
if you weren't hot for her and Christina Aguilera at that
no,
point,
seeing Britney Spears as a little boy.
I didn't see her as a little boy. I saw her when I was a little
What
boy.
were
I
you
got
watching?
I got stuck on that.
Yeah.
After anything you said after that, I don't remember.
just lost it.
Yeah, that was you lost me there.
Anyways,
But anyway, hey,
Yeah.
Tailgate Beers here. We want to thank Cooper Allen for taking the time, his team for taking the time and sitting down with us today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. Really looking forward to seeing you on stage tonight. I actually get to watch.
Let's go.
Because all the other times I've been working. So really looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much.
We'll
for
be
joining
drinking
us.
some tailgate beers together.